Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video to show you what is left. Hey guys, wanted to make a quick video to show you what the remaining information is in Module 3. We've been talking about joint commissions, and mine looks a little different, or either it doesn't, depending upon whether you did the intro video quiz, but in my student view it shows me the restrictions that are still on. Hopefully you've moved all the way through these tracer videos, the National Patient Safety Goals, and the Joint Commissions link. And I've been reading your forums over here, and they're incredible. So I really appreciate the hard work that you guys have put into your homework so far. So the last part of our Module 3 is this information that I opened right here, North Carolina Licensure of Hospitals. And remember way back a couple of weeks ago when we talked about licensure, that people could be licensed or that facilities could be licensed. Well, here you go. So we're talking about North Carolina Licensure of Hospitals, and that's all those rules and regulations that hospitals have to follow to be able to operate within the state of North Carolina. The first link that I've given you right here is the North Carolina Division of Health Service Regulation. I'm going to click on that so we can open it up and take a look. You come to the home page and you'll find that this is part of the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. It's cut off a little bit right there. But within this particular area, you're going to find licensure and certification. A lot of other links, but we're going to go right here to licensure and certification. Acute and home care, adult care, mental health and nursing home. So we're going to click on acute. And then you get some general information about acute and home care licensure. I'm going to go back. Oh, it looks a little different. Let me hit backspace. There we go. So there's lots of information here, how to start a facility. I just pretty much give you this website so you know where the information is coming from and the landing page and what the area within our state government is called that is responsible for the licensure of a facility. So I'm going to close that out real quick. Establishing an acute care facility is buried within that particular website, so I just gave you a link right to it. See, it's under acute home care licensure and certification, establishing an acute care hospital. We've talked briefly about some of these, but there are things that I certainly want to point out to you that, again, when a facility is established in the state of North Carolina, there has to be a need demonstrated. And here it is, right? So an applicant has to review the state facilities plan to determine if there's a demonstrated need. And that's what keeps costs in check in the state of North Carolina. They don't want too many facilities that aren't serving the appropriate amount of customers with the right services. And so what an applicant is going to do, let's say Novant Hospital or Moses Cone or Baptist in this area wants to open a brand new facility in our area, the first thing they're going to do is review this state facilities plan. And that's what the state outlines, how they feel that health care is going to be delivered in our state. The second thing they're going to do is obtain a certificate of need. This is super important for you to know. A certificate of need is the formal application into where the proposed acute care facility, where they're wanting it, how many beds, what services, so on and so on. Then you get down to, if you've been approved, you're going to get construction approval, and then you're going to finally obtain a license, and we're going to go into that in a little more detail specific to health information. And then you're going to obtain some certification from the state as well. So reviewing the plan, having a certificate of need, obtaining a license, and then obtaining your certification or your takeaways from there. All right, so this last link goes along with the final assignment that I have posted. So NCAC stands for North Carolina Administrative Code. NCAC, and you may remember that from the introductory PowerPoint where we talked a little bit about what's the difference between a North Carolina general statute and what is the difference between North Carolina general statutes and North Carolina administrative code. Remember that the North Carolina general statutes are the legislated laws in our state. The North Carolina administrative code are rules and regulations that are written to support the North Carolina general statutes. So these rules support the law. So for example, if we're talking about licensure of hospital, there is a law in our general statutes that requires hospitals to be licensed by the state of North Carolina to operate. That's the law. The law doesn't go into specifics on how a facility is to accomplish that. That is what the code is for. So departments are formed, administrative departments are formed. They write the code and they're responsible for enforcing the code. Now that's, remember, I told you in your introductory PowerPoint as well, that is something that we'll be covering again in legal next semester, but having that under your belt right now isn't a bad thing. So North Carolina Administrative Code, and I say C, 3200, 3500, 3600, 3700, and 3900. That's going to be very important because when I click on this, I want you to see exactly what's out there. And it may take it a minute to pull up. Okie dokie. I'm going to see if I can scoot this over a little bit so you can see it. So we're in, up here in the internet address, if you can see that we're in the NCAC Title 10A Health and Human Services Chapter 13, NC Medical Care Commission, and then we're in subchapter 13B under licensure of hospitals. And so this is buried pretty deep. That's why I give you a link to it rather than having you go out and look for it. So the first thing you see are sections that are reserved for future codification, and that's just big and fancy for when they need to expand the rule, what that's going to look like. Once you start to scroll down, and I'm going to see if I can enlarge this a little bit. There we go. Once you start to scroll down, you're going to see section point 1900. Okay, so we're going to go back over here to Module 3. And what did I tell you to find? 3200, 3500, 3600, 3700, and 3900. So buried in this particular code, I'm going to show you how to read it in just a minute. You're going to find those numbers. So let's take a minute and take a look at what you're looking at. So the first one that we're supposed to find is 3500. So I'm going to keep scrolling. We're at 2000. Keep going, keep going. 3100, 3100. Oh, I passed it. Let's see here. All right, so section 3500 is the first section that's listed. Oh, that was a lie. It's 3200. Let me go back. Goodness. All right, so 3200. General hospital requirements. So under 3200, you see 10A, which we know is the particular title within the code. We have NCAC, North Carolina Administrative Code, subchapter 13B, and then we have section 3200, and this is 3201. And so how this reads, and it's going to read kind of funny if you've never read the law or administrative code, this is how it's outlined, and you'll get used to it after seeing it this semester a little bit, and then you'll definitely get used to it in the spring when we're kind of digging into the law of the state. So within the code, you're going to find hospital requirements, and it's going to show you exactly what a hospital must have in this particular section for this standard to be able to achieve licensure to operate. And you see all the different sections, and you can't see because it's off to the side, but I've still got more than halfway of the page to scroll to get to the end of this particular part of the code. So there's a lot in here. So what I've done is I've gone over here to Module 3, Assignment 5, and if you'll click on that, Using the NCAC link provided in this module, answer the questions located attached in the document. So let's click on the document, see if we can get this to open up. What I've basically done, because it's so much information in the code, I have gone in and said specifically what you need to know. So here's what I need you to know about the DHSR website, which is the first link that we visited. Then I ask you a series of questions in each section. So take a look at that. Guess what, guys? This is a study guide. Now this says do not cut and paste, use your own words, and then on the other side in Moodle I say, hey, guess what? You can cut and paste here. I mean, in the areas where you need to use your own words, you're going to have to do that. Otherwise, if you cut and paste from the code, it's fine. This is going to be your study guide for this section of the module. I'm only going to ask you questions on the exam that come from this piece of paper for this section of the module. I want you to hear me again. I didn't say for the whole entire exam, but for this section of the module, North Carolina Licensure of Hospitals, this is where your testing content is going to come from. The code is so large and so involved, we need to trim it down into what you actually need to know. And so that's what this particular assignment does for you. So that's why it's important for me to hop on here today and give you a little heads up about why it looks the way that it does. So here is the new content again. These 3 links and this North Carolina Licensure of Hospitals. I opened up another assignment, and that assignment will serve as a study guide for this last section. I want you to email me with any questions that you have. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.